Hey guys, so posting art on social media. It seems to be getting more and more difficult these days. I've wanted to make a video on this topic for a while, but I just never got around into it, until now of course. As an artist, sometimes it's hard to know where you should post your artwork. There are many different social media platforms to post on, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, to name a few, and trying to figure out which one's the best as an artist to post on can be a struggle. The thing is, there is no best social media to post artwork. They all have their pros and cons, and honestly, none of them are set up in a way where an artist could thrive in. And in this video, I'll be discussing why that's the case, why modern social media sucks for artists. Before I get into all the reasons why social media sucks for artists right now, I feel like I should discuss the positives social media brings to artists. Because even though this video is about how social media is a struggle for artists, social media still has its pros when it comes to posting artwork. First, it's easily accessible, meaning that you can get pretty much any social media platform and start posting your artwork for free to the public. And it's a great way for you to get your artwork seen by many people around the world. Second, it's a great way to connect to other artists. Maybe even artists who draw similar things that you do. Like, if you draw warrior cats, then you'll be able to find many other artists who also draw warrior cats. And you can follow those artists, and potentially they will also follow you back. You might even make art friends on social media. Third, it's a great source of inspiration. Sometimes you can be stuck in a rut when it comes to ideas for your artwork. Run into artist's block, as many people have probably experienced. And going on social media and seeing other people's artwork, or just seeing real-world images, can be a major inspiration for artists, which can help us get out of artist's block. Lastly, social media can be used to promote your art / build a business for yourself. If you want to take art to the next level, such as doing commissions, creating merchandise, making content on YouTube, maybe even make an indie comic or animation, then posting on social media is a must, as you need to get noticed by the public eye. And if you're able to achieve this, and making art as a career is your dream, then social media is a huge positive. But as you know, not every artist can get enough traction, likes, follows, or views to get their art noticed by the masses. Especially because, as I've said, posting art on social media is difficult these days. The social media platforms are not set up in a way that favors artists. First of all, how has social media changed? And for the sake of this video, when I'm talking about social media, I'm grouping them all into one. Just to make things easier, I'm mainly talking about Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter though. The main reasons social media has changed are because of the algorithm, platforms prioritizing video and short reel content, having to post regularly to keep up, the increasing amount of users, AI usage, and the hate comments on certain social media platforms. All of these reasons are why social media has changed in a negative way for artists, and I'm going to cover them all in more detail. The algorithm. The algorithm is always changing and aligning with what's popular, which is why trends and popular topics get so much more attention. You've probably noticed that whenever there is a new show or movie coming out, posts with fan art for it get a ton of attention, when something like a drawing of your OC might not get as much traction. The algorithm decides what content they will push out to the masses, and if your drawing doesn't appeal to what's popular, they typically won't promote it to the public, which can suck as an artist, as not all artists want to draw trends or what's popular. A lot of us don't want to make art for the sake of appealing to the public. And you could be super talented in drawing, but if your posts don't get enough traction, you won't get noticed. And this is common. A lot of talented artists don't get the credit they deserve. So much so, I've seen people fake being beginner artists on TikTok because they get more traction with low-quality art posts, as it ends up getting more likes, comments, and shares, which the algorithm sees as good, because it means the post is getting engagement. This happens because these beginner artists receive negative feedback, as it's a beginner artwork, which some people like to poke fun at, but also positive feedback, as people want to inspire beginner artists. Then some people defend the beginner artist when people leave the hate comments, so it's a spiral of comments upon comments on a post. And of course, a lot of likes and shares as well. Also, I'm not shaming anyone who fakes being a beginner artist to get noticed, People do this because they know the algorithm will be in their favor, and because their artwork wasn't getting any attention beforehand. Lying about being a beginner artist is dishonest, but I can understand why people have done it. At least it's not harmful to anyone. Anyways, I've gone a bit off main topic, but the algorithm really sucks for artists. For many people, it feels like a game to make your art stand out, and for some, playing that game is fun, but for others, it's hard to keep up with. It feels like your artwork is judged by how many likes or followers you have, and that's just sad. I don't know where to include this, but I felt like I should include an example of the algorithm not being in your favor. So I posted this drawing on Instagram of a character named Dog from a comic series called Catbird Dog. It only reached 76 likes, which wasn't great considering how many followers I have on Instagram. But then, I posted the same drawing over on YouTube, and it got 324 likes, which was way better. This is proof that your drawing isn't judged on how many likes you get. As on one social media, this drawing totally flopped, but on another, it did relatively good. Also, there are a lot of things you have to be careful of when abiding the algorithm. An example being deleting videos on YouTube, because deleting the video can lower your channel's visibility, ranking, and audience engagement, as that video is gone, which means its data is also gone. So in return, YouTube sees this as a negative sign and can lower your overall performance on your channel, which is bad. And it sucks because sometimes as creators, we just want to remove certain videos, whether it's old or whether we don't like it anymore. Either way, it's hard knowing every little thing about how the algorithm works on these social media platforms. You do one thing wrong, and it seems like you're punished by the algorithm. Reels/video prioritization. Modern social media seems to prioritize video content, especially short-form video content. This basically means that if you make a video or reel, it'll typically do better than a post that's just a static image, as the algorithm prefers pushing out video content over images. And a lot of social media platforms, like Instagram and YouTube, are now including short video reels, almost as if they're trying to emulate TikTok. And this is a problem for a lot of artists, especially artists that prefer painting and/or illustration work. A lot of people don't mind making their artwork into video content, but there's also a lot of artists that don't. Some people just want to post their artwork as it is and not have to spend more time creating video content for it. But of course, when reels get more traction than an image post, and you want to build your audience, you feel the need to create video content in order to keep up with what's popular with the public. Even adding music to your posts can help it perform better, as it can help increase your engagement and make your content even more enjoyable. And many artists don't like the vibe or aesthetic of having music on their drawings and illustrations, but it almost feels like a must nowadays. If I had to give an answer on why video and short reel content does better than static images, I'd say overall, the public finds them more engaging and visually appealing, and of course they're actively promoted by the algorithm, allowing them to reach a bigger audience. For the short reel content in particular, it's easier for people to consume the content as it's shorter, and nowadays, most people have short attention spans on social media, so content like reels is perfect for them, as they can easily watch the whole video, which the algorithm sees as a positive, and in return boost reels over other kinds of content. The need to post frequently to keep up. Posting is important on social media. Obviously, you have to post frequently enough to keep up with both the algorithm and your audience. But how much is enough? Well, it's hard to know the answer, as there isn't any actual evidence towards how much you should post, and every social media platform is different. For Instagram, they say to post 3 to 5 times a week, and for Instagram stories, twice a day. For X, Twitter, they say to post 2 to 3 times a day. For TikTok, they say to post 3 to 5 times a week. For YouTube, they say to post 1 longer video a week and 1 to 3 YouTube shorts a week. Again, I'm not saying any of these times to post on social media are accurate. These are all just recommended by people who have experienced the highs and lows of social media and know the algorithm and how it works. Either way, the point is, you need to post frequently on social media to keep up. As an artist, that can be difficult. We can spend hours to sometimes even a day on certain drawings. And even preparing a post can take up time too. Editing the post to fit the social media, writing the best caption, and researching and using the best hashtags on the post. Plus, even responding to comments and trying to build a community on your account can take up your time that could be used just drawing and improving as an artist. And if you have to manage another job or just things in your day-to-day life, making enough artwork to post every 1 to 2 days can be a struggle. And this can make people feel pressure to post when it's genuinely just impossible or detrimental to your health. This can cause artists to force out as much content as possible, which means they are creating art that's in quantity, not quality. And you end up losing detail, precision, and care in your drawings. This can even lead you to creative burnout and creative block, where you feel like you're stuck and have a lack of motivation when you're trying to be creative, which sucks as an artist, especially if you want to post regularly. Increasing amount of users / competing with AI artwork. There are a lot of people on social media now, and that comes a lot of artists. Everyone wants to be noticed and gain a following. When there is that much competition, it can be hard to stand out. And as much as we all need to support each other and our art journeys, it's hard to not feel a bit envious when other people get more followers, likes, and traction than you do. And if you're not the type to feel envious, then you might feel a bit discouraged, or compare yourself to the artists that have more numbers than you do, especially if your art is just as good. The problem is, there are a lot of very talented artists out there on social media that don't get nearly enough likes for how amazing their artwork is. But it's hard to compete with other artists out there on these platforms, and I hate the fact that I have to say compete. As artists, we should support one another, and most of the time we do. But you have to admit, there are a lot of artists trying to gain a following, and sometimes you can feel like you're just one of the many thousands upon thousands of artists on social media. It also doesn't help when many artists are doing the same things with their artwork, like following trends or drawing whatever is currently popular in media, or even just drawing in similar art styles. Emulating other people has become very standard, as it usually benefits the artist, since the algorithm rewards you for drawing certain trends or in a certain style. But this ends up making a lot of artists or their accounts look very similar, and I'm not shaming anyone who does this, as the algorithm can really get to you. Also, sometimes I do think people are just inspired by other artists and want to draw similar stuff to them. Now, to get into the AI part of this topic, no matter what your perspective is on AI, I'm sure everyone can agree that it's something we are competing with nowadays. Whether it's drawing, writing, or animation, people can easily whip up an AI-generated drawing and post it to social media, when there are artists out there who are spending hours upon hours on their artwork, who are actually putting in genuine creativity and effort into their pieces. So this can feel both unfair and frustrating as an artist, as we are not only competing with fellow artists, but we are now competing with people who generate AI drawings and/or animations. And of course, they have the time advantage, whereas we don't when posting. Hate comments. As an artist or creator, you should expect to get hate comments eventually. Some people are genuinely just toxic and don't care about your well-being. Never take the hate comments too seriously for that reason. Although certain social media platforms are horrible when it comes to hate comments, I'm mainly talking about TikTok and Instagram. And as an artist, getting hate can be very upsetting, especially if the hate is about your drawing or art style. Some artists can take the comment very personally, and it can affect how they see their artwork. I've seen some artists get attacked just for their art style. That's insane. If you don't like someone's art style, don't follow them. It's that simple. I always want to make it aware that yes, you likely will get hate comments, especially if you do start to gain a following, but that doesn't mean I justify the hate comments, and I think on certain social medias, the hate is just getting worse and worse. And that's all the reasons why I think modern social media sucks for artists. Although, that's not even counting all the effects social media has on artists. Just in general, social media can negatively impact a person's mental health by contributing to feelings of anxiety, stress, depression, low self-esteem, and loneliness. A lot of this is due to the constant comparison you have with other creators, as we only get to see the lives of people we follow by what they post, so we only see the perfect picture. We don't see any of their flaws or struggles they go through, which leads people to compare themselves to others in a negative light, thus impacting a person's self-esteem and leading people to feel depressed. Not only that, but when posts don't do as well as we hoped, we can feel disappointed Just posting in general gives a person anxiety, not knowing how well it'll perform. And the only reason we get so caught up in the numbers is because we see other creators who get tons of likes and followers, and we also want the same attention with our posts. It's normal to want to be noticed, especially when it comes to making artwork, art that we put so much time and effort into making. Of course, another huge problem is being overly addicted to social media. It's not a problem to use social media in normal doses. If anything, I personally think social media is great to use in a healthy dosage. But when you are spending hours on end scrolling through social media, that's when it can become a problem. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive. Social media makes its creators feel desperate to keep up with posts. Especially when you're an artist, as I said before, it's hard to post frequently, which can lead to stress and anxiety, as social media puts a lot of pressure on its creators, and potentially creative burnout if you're an artist. It also just ends up being a distraction. Have you ever been working on a drawing, then see a notification on social media? You might have felt the need to click what the notification was, and in the process, you're being distracted from your drawing. Sometimes, even getting more distracted by forgetting about your drawing and scrolling through the social media platform, when that time could have been used more efficiently to work on your drawing. If you're an artist and you are mentally struggling with posting on social media, it might be worth it to take a break, especially if you're not trying to make it into a career on social media. I wish social media was set up differently, in a way where artists could actually thrive, but it seems like that isn't the case right now, and it really sucks. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of other social media options out there, which is a shame, because they all feel the same nowadays. The fact Instagram does Reels now, and never used to, just shows how they all try to copy each other, emulate whatever is popular with the public. Which, I can understand from a business standpoint, but it's just annoying for us artists. I mean, there have been attempts at social media platforms for artists, but none of them can really compete with the big social media platforms. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter have so much money put into them. It's hard to compete with companies that are worth billions of dollars. Unless the social media for artists gets really lucky and does get popular enough, we are stuck with what we currently have now. Sorry for ending this video on such a bleak note. I mean, as I said at the very beginning of this video, social media does have a lot of positives too. So, as much as this video was talking about the harsh reality about posting art on social media, just remember, there are some positives that come along with the cons. I've wanted to discuss this topic for a while now, as I feel like modern social media is affecting a lot of artists out there, and it's becoming more and more of a problem. If anyone watching this video is trying to grow their channels on YouTube, or even any other social media platforms, leave a comment down below. Let's support each other by following each other's art accounts. Anyways, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. It's been Leamon. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all next time.